There we go.
How you doing?
I am
So,
positive.
hey, is this thing on?
It is.
This thing's on. All right. Hey, welcome everybody, and welcome to our very first actual live stream of our How They Rolled on Twitch. Now, when this broadcast actually up on our YouTube, it will be January 2nd, so you are seeing it firsthand.
And spoilers.
This is going to have spoilers. We're talking about episode 12.
Yeah, so if you're trying to keep update, just heads up, this is spoilers, even though it's our first time doing live stream.
So again, How They Rolled here. I'm your host, David Wine. I play Eck, and we have here Nathan, who plays Sparks, and we have Mac, who plays Sonny, and we have Nicholas, who acts like our DM. So, and off the side, we also have we may have some words of wisdom come over from Jace, who plays Barian.
I'm not here.
You're not here. Okay, cool. Anyway, this is episode 12 of How They Rolled, and we're going to cover what went down on episode 12 of Together We Roll, which, by the way, for those who are watching live stream, will see those episodes tomorrow.
No, today was the episode 12 part 1.
Today was episode 12 part 1.
So it's slightly a spoiler because they don't have part 2 yet.
Episode 12
Which it could have been a
part
part 3, but you guys decided to hijack me and tell me I'm DMing, and if I don't agree to those terms, that you're gonna break my kneecaps, right?
Yeah, we're going a little higher.
I see.
And I'm not sure it's going to be spoilers. It's certainly going to be some. You're definitely going to hear some things you might consider spoilers, but you're gonna. I'm hoping here what it's going to do is inspire you to go actually watch the actual thing and compare what we say and what really happened.
There was a reason why we compelled it to go longer.
Mm-hmm. So
I wanted to end it. I looked at the time, like, yeah, it's a little early, but this is a 2-hour fight.
More on that later. Yeah, more on that later.
So first episode, part 1, Rock Beats Fire, and our second episode.
This is like my first time hearing the title.
Our second episode, again, for those people who are live stream watching us here, is going to be called, or is called, part 2, End of Tutorial. And you'll understand why that's aptly named.
Wink, no spoilers,
all right.
Yeah.
Rock Beats Fire. So we started episode 12, part 1, down in the Rich Rock Mines. We were fighting salamanders and kobolds and a swobald, and that's where we...
Hey, the swobald is nice, okay? All right, I like him. He's my favorite character. He's actually the lead protagonist.
The lead protagonist.
Did he get a turn?
Yes, he got one turn. He gave Eck a big hug. And that's pretty much it.
Yes, that's it. And it was actually, Eck was rather impressive.
Yeah, that's impressive for a kobold.
Because it actually cracked Eck's back. It kind of, hey. So,
Swobald chiropractor.
Yeah, Swobald chiropractor.
Which for Tortle doesn't make much sense.
Oh, okay.
So the Rich Rock Mines, what we're doing down there again, what are we down there for? I know we don't have one of our key players for this particular thing, but who's out ill, unfortunately.
We're looking for treasure because Derek, who's played by Chris, negotiated the worst contract ever. No, go take care of this big bad thing that's screwing everything up. And you can just keep what you find. And
spoilers, it's nothing.
Yeah, there's...
Nope, that's it.
All right, so one of the things we were running into with those kobolds, again, they're little tiny guys, but they had one horn kind of missing. Now, without the DM chiming in here, I'm curious if you guys, what your take was on what you thought this meant.
Well, just a reminder that every single kobold, including this Swobald, have either one or both of its horns missing. Shattered. You found that out after the battle was commenced, but...
It seemed like they were part of a club.
Some do painting, some do scars, and guys with their horns off.
If you play in his games long enough, you start to realize that we have this metal plate shoved in. They all have the metal plate shoved in there, or they all have a broken horn, or something. So they're part of a bigger group.
I've done that maybe once or twice, and that's
3 times.
3 times? No, 3 times? No. Okay, true. Over the first and second campaign, okay.
Yeah. And like the Kindred Strangers, we all have mental problems. So. Just kidding.
That's nothing on my part.
Just kidding. So part of a club is what your ideas were, and
part of a cult.
Cult. Yeah, and I was thinking it meant something. We weren't sure what. We do find out a little bit later, and we'll cover that in a minute. But one of the things that was referred to as what was down here, we were referring to a land shark a lot, and I don't know if a lot of our viewers actually know what we mean by land shark. I mean, it is sometimes.
That's right. Apparently, some people think that kobolds should not be killed. It's not allowed.
Kobolds have rights, you know.
Yeah, and by the way, yes, please, if you're watching, we've got the person in the seat here next to the PC is going to be doing their best to field question and answers, and we'd love to hear your comments and questions, and we'll do our best to answer them for you. So just remember that there is a little bit of a lag by the time you see it and by the time we're going to get it, so just bear with us there. But
sorry,
we'll do what we can.
What was your question again?
My question was, a land shark. We referred to a land shark ourselves. And we
I call them land sharks because that's what they freaking are, right? It's a bullet. In my opinion. It's a bullet. Bullet. Some people say...
Hey, Pippin.
If you're in France, it's bullet. If you're in America, it's a bullet.
It's bullet. Yeah. Not bullet.
Yeah, and Pippin was screaming because he wants to be on camera. He is the camera hog. So
he is such a diva.
We took some pictures, some backstage stuff here before our show, and every time that camera came over to him, he started bobbing. So anyway, he is a camera whore. Okay, so we know that there's these bullets, as they're called, and these things can dig through the ground and so forth. They're being scared off.
Amongst other things, there were just various creatures, centipedes, and just various wildlife of the Underdark being forced out of the mines.
Wait. What'd you say?
Underdark?
Underdark?
Did you just say Underdark?
He said Underdark. We have it on film. You are taping this, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Yeah, and
there is an Underdark.
It's not only live; it's being recorded.
It's not uncommon to have dwarven towns that are very ancient in aspects to have places to go to the Underdark.
I'm down. Going to the Underdark.
It's a fun place. A lot of people like hugs.
I really don't want to go to the Underdark.
I really don't like the Underdark.
I have PTSD from the last campaign, thank you. No, thank you. I do not want to go to the Underdark. I hate it.
Okay, so we end up taking... Let me get back on track.
It's also why we
let's go back off track. I like this conversation better.
Because I don't want to talk about the Underdark either.
Yes, it's the wrong kind of tight, though. The wrong kind of tight.
You would really never have gotten your cleric in the last campaign if you didn't go to the Underdark. Anyways, back to our campaign.
Yes.
Moving on.
Back to our campaign. So we vanquish. We at the end of. If you haven't watched the episode, you'll see at the very end. Nicholas, you end up commenting. I'm trying to remember the quote. You slaughtered my. What did you?
It was.
You kicked the fuck out of my. I think it was.
You slaughtered these people. I don't know what I said, but because I say a lot of things, but. You guys utterly annihilated them. Yes, you got a little bit of hurt because of the blood damage, but good God, you guys just opened up a can of whoop ass on these kobolds, Swoldbog, a caster type, and a salamander. They had no chance. They had like somewhat chance, but then again, those two kobolds went up into smoke. Maybe that was the change there. The two kobolds that touched the salamander. And they just are into smoke.
I don't know if two kobolds were going to change anything for that fight.
I think they did.
Oh,
okay. All right.
I don't know. Ginger might be wanting some attention.
Yeah, I think the bottom line to that battle was the 6th level characters were fighting 2 badass things and a whole bunch of minions, and the minions just got corked.
Yeah,
which is funny.
But so we're now working to collect a bunch of parts from the salamander to not only. Get to resale. But
you were investigating what was around, what was going on with the horn situation, and also what is a salamander, which you guys got a bit of cool information, and also about its what's valuable on its body, which is its body.
And the challenges of trying to get it out in still a valuable form because of what it is. So we decide at this point to take a break, take a rest. And what does Eck decide to do at this time? Because we got 2 tunnels.
Why are you asking us? You know exactly
I know what it is,
you did.
but I don't want to just tell it.
Horrible and terrible.
You're a monster.
No, at first I'm not. Okay, I didn't start that way.
I didn't start out as a monster. I just became.
I reached into my bag of tricks, pulled out, and sorry, sorry for our folks who are wearing headsets.
You okay?
No, she just probably got a feather that was coming in and when she was rubbing. So that happens sometimes. Sorry about that. So anyway, I created I ended up getting a jackal, a little dog, and
which for some reason I could not get a jackal in my head.
Until
you had shown me. Shut up. Until you showed me a picture. I'm like, what is a jackal? What is a jackal? What is a jackal?
So I get this clever idea. All right, I'm going to now use this as an animal that I can do beast sense with, because it's one of my abilities. So I spent about 10 minutes doing communicate with animals, talking with it, bonding with it, and then another 10 minutes I do beast sense, so I can see through its eyes. And we're going to go down one of these tunnels and start discovering what goes on there. So I set all this up, and I'm rather proud of this, or Eck is proud of this, and to which then Eck promptly sends the dog down the dark tunnel. What is the flaw in this plan?
The dog doesn't have dark vision. And neither does Eck, for that matter, without help.
It's funny.
Without help. Up until he leveled.
Yeah. Without the assistance of your spiritual animal, that is true, you do not have dark vision.
Correct. One of the things when I leveled up, and I elected to go with a 2nd level totem of the snapping turtle, and that gave me the ability to see in the dark.
Amongst other things.
And some other things, which may come up. So, any case, so now I'm hurting this poor animal. Barian apparently is not liking doesn't really know anything yet. Other than the whimpers in the dark tunnel, hearing as apparently as it's running into walls. So I finally coax it to come back. We get the clever idea to light it up with a collar using light from Derek, right? His cantrip light, and we send it down the other tunnel, and the creature promptly gets eaten, killed, destroyed, something. I'm not sure which. I never got to see it.
Well, you found gold and platinum.
Found gold and platinum in the walls.
Lava.
I didn't say a word of that to the rest of the group.
That is true.
I did not want Derek.
The rest of the group does not know. They just know that the animal didn't come back.
Right. So we decide we're going to go down the main tunnel, which is where the salamander came from. And as we open up into a huge cavern with, let's see here, my notes here, crevasses of flowing magma.
So a natural open cave that was bisected at a perpendicular angle. Not perpendicular. What am I saying? On a tangent, math.
Crossways.
Crossways.
Perpendicular?
I don't know.
We had to get past.
I'm a math major too, so I don't know what I'm.
Well, you're going one way and they're going perpendicular.
Yeah, they're going perpendicular.
So
of lava tubes that just naturally ate through and created these trenches of lava.
Which we have to get across.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
you did find ropes on stalactites.
Yeah, that was
sure. That's good.
Well, it was right there for you. I don't know what about a giant turtle that weighs 450 pounds and a giant metal man that weighs just about the same, naked, mindful, to swing across something that was made for kobolds. I don't see the problem with that.
No, we did. Luckily, we did. Luckily, we did.
I did roll very well when you were testing it.
The salamander comes out. The kindred strangers, have never seen a salamander. We go, blah, and mob the heck out of this thing. We come across a little crevasse with hot flowing magma in it, of course, and it's 5 feet wide, and we're all now into the classic, all right, let's everyone get into a huddle, guys. How are we going to tackle this monster, right? So,
it's a door. Oh, God!
It's a door. It's going to be
There's no
trapped.
trap on it. Why is there not? Pippin, all right, we need to figure out something for Pippin.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not on camera anymore.
Yeah.
So, what do we got? Got a question?
Oh, no.
Okay.
People are just admiring how we're appreciating the birds. The bird appreciation here is very uplifting.
They are spoiled, they are rotten, and they are the puppet masters. They control everything in this house. If they do not deem it necessary, they will kick us out.
Okay, so we're trying to figure out how to get across. What are some of the ways that you guys devised to get across? Sticky mud.
Sticky mud.
Sticky mud from Barian, right? Which is a different name for an actual spell in the
Sticky mud
in 5e, but in this case,
no, it's sticky mud.
Sticky mud.
It is the spell, okay?
But that wasn't how we started there. That was that was like the third.
Yeah.
method.
So we have Sparks jump. We had Ek jump. You had a monkey and another jackal.
Yes, I had the jackal in my backpack because it was a little tiny one. I had conjured two more animals.
Sitting on you.
Two more animals, and I had an ape. And this ape I left behind, and I went and jumped across. It's 5 feet, right? We can all jump 5 feet. Even you and I can jump 5 feet. Well,
Guys,
but it's not just jumping 5 feet. It's jumping 5 feet through very superheated air.
Slippery rock.
Slippery rock that is part hardened obsidian.
And hotter than hell.
Yeah, literally hot.
well,
It's superheated.
and
Okay.
18 seconds from death if you fall in.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. So as far as character goes. So I decide to jump over. I make it. You use, what did you use, Sparks? What was
Oh, my movable rod.
Yes.
movable rod. You
Oh,
finally
thank
got the
God
clever
you
to
did.
use the
I
movable
didn't
rod.
jump. I tried to jump, and I used my movable rod, but it failed horribly.
It's quite
So I
literally.
swung. It was hanging down between 2 feet on either side, down a chasm.
You can see the legs
open
reaching
road.
over.
Meanwhile, 500-pound workforce is sitting there.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's
And I
no
think-
fatigue.
I think Hazel was the one that just kind of pushed you with her staff. Wait, no, she has a regular staff.
I think that was me.
You can
Oh,
imagine.
that was you? Okay.
This, when magma and lava is kind of underrated in D&D, but the good part is Nick doesn't let it get underrated because this is over what 3,000
Okay.
degrees.
First of all, normal lava damage on vanilla terms. If you fall into it and get bait by it, it is 8d10 worth of fire damage.
8d10.
18.
Oh, 18d10. That's
18.
the rules.
That is vanilla if you
Okay.
are bathed in it.
That seems
18.
pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
But in superheated magma that is in a lava tube that even gets hotter, that I treat a little differently.
Okay.
Yeah,
So then you just die. Yeah.
Yeah. For your guys' level, yeah, it would have been an instant death. If you,
Well, I didn't know this when I decided. Ek decided I'll just jump over. It's only 5 feet.
Yeah.
Well, then I find out the DC was 12,
which is
Now-
not that high, and it's perfectly reasonable.
But it's not like a saving throw where you go, oh, ow. Okay, no, this was a death throw is what it turned out to end up being. Luckily, Ek makes it across.
Yeah, no problem.
But if he rolled under an 8 on a D20,
You keep doing that. After the game, you kept saying that. You kept bringing up the 30% chance of an instant
I had a
death.
30%
I'm
chance of instant
let's
death.
rewind it a bit and see how many things you've done that you don't know that you did that were more than 30%
no,
instant death.
no, I don't want to know.
Anyways, guys,
I don't want to know.
we only have like.
Yeah.
Oh well,
But you found out of that DC 12 because of your monkey, which
Yes.
rolled an 11.
the monkey,
As he-
my ape rolled an 11 and quickly turned into a gasping poof of smoke. To which there was Barian going, Barian? Barian?
He's not here right now. He's
Okay.
not talking.
Barian's all,
Yeah, he's not talking.
you're an animal! You're killing all the animals. And of course, he doesn't realize I'm pulling him out of a magic bag and all this.
No, you're a monster. You're killing animals.
I'm a monster and I'm killing animals.
Monster killing animals. And that's
So-
not true. They did act pretty weird.
So now we're between crevasses and we realize the gravity of the situation. Literally, we're in a bad situation.
I didn't know how you didn't grasp the gravity of the situation when you're looking at lava.
And this is when Sticky Mud comes in, and we've got a 450-pound guy walking on the ceiling with sticky mud and dragging people around and so forth. No, on the walls. Does the ceiling?
Well,
No, it was on the ceiling, but it was
he did the wall without noticing, and he realized that on the right side of the wall when you first entered, it was a little thinner than the left side. He didn't find out because he got lucky with the percentile dice, but
That would have been awful having it rip away from the wall and and then a nice little lava stream, magma stream coming through.
You guys can just investigate things, but again, I know you guys are the smartest a bunch.
We're not that smart.
Excuse me. I'm intelligent. I'm just not wise.
Yeah, that is true, and you did a very unwise thing.
And after we finally make it all the way across, what do we find on the other side?
I basically
bridge.
A bridge.
A bridge. Well, it's a dwarven metal grate bridge. That is, if I remember correctly, it was 20 feet long after
it's still, even using that bridge, it's a metal bridge over magma. It only has so much half-life before your feet just start lighting on fire.
Well, it's better than actually trying to jump over a crevasse of lava.
It's not better than sticky mud.
It's also not an issue.
It's not better than sticky mud. That is true. Ginger.
So, so now we've made it finally all the way across the crevasses, and what else did we find over there when we went into another cavern?
More lava.
No, there was a husk.
Oh, we found a carved out husk of a bole or bullet.
Land shark. I call them land sharks.
And we got and there's all these caverns with dripping drops of magma dripping down through, so we can kind of go through, but they're curtains that we're going to get dripped on.
It's basically the DM's way of making sure we don't just run backwards.
But it's also just a natural deterrent for those that are not of fire, that are not yes, I know. I'm telling them right now. If they're not innately resistant to fire, it's a deterrent of people trying to just explore and investigate.
I don't think we were deterred.
I just ripped apart the bullet and used it as a shield to curtain everyone under.
There you go.
After using your shield initially because you're a big enough guy, you use your
shield.
No.
I think I think she wants me.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
You're not getting it right.
Yeah, we found the bullet. We got past it. He used the shieldy thing, which led us to the place where we had more adventure.
This is where we get into the spoiler component here, because that episode will come out next Friday for your live viewers here. For those that are watching it right now, it's already out, so go check it out if you haven't. But
really, I think the end of the tutorial was the.
So we used the boule as a curtain to get through, and we open ourselves up into a large cavern where there's now huge
pools of lava.
Huge lakes of magma.
With also a lava fall as well.
A lava fall, yes.
Very pretty.
A lava fall, very pretty.
Very beautiful, but at the same time, very hot. I mean, you guys are sweating in here, and you're risking exhaustion points if you stay in here for a long period of time.
Yeah, long rest is not an option.
This is where you...
Long rest, you might die. In this kind of circumstance, if you speak to any firefighter that has fought fires on ships, on naval ships, it's that kind of conditions.
Yeah, we're staying in 130 degree temperatures in caustic fumes and so forth. That is not possible.
It's about 200 degrees, right?
Yeah, and we don't have any magic users that can do the little magic bubble.
Yeah, the bubble.
Not yet.
Not yet. So anyway, that doesn't seem to be an option at this point. But what do we find in this rather imposing cave?
A friendly person.
Absolutely.
A friendly person, right?
Well, at the end he was friendly.
Yeah, it was a friendly. Right.
Find another salamander.
Yeah, another salamander. Some kobold holding bullet shields that were charging out, and then they were interrupted with a growl of their master, and they all went retreat.
This is where we find why
the red dragon.
The horn is removed.
Yeah, Gralathane, the growing. It was the growing hunger. His name was Gralathane.
And so now the kindred strangers are now faced with possibly their strongest foe yet. Now it turns out most of us appeared to be at the onset of this engagement to speak to the beast, to not encourage a battle, but Barian says one thing.
He said no to a red dragon. What do you think is going to happen?
Yep.
He's killed people for less. Okay.
So the red dragon asks a basic question, and Barian goes no, and
no. He basically said, "Drop your items, and I might treat you nicely."
And that included dropping Flan. And that was...
And the entirety of me.
Well, no, there was an entire talking, yada yada, monologuing, yada yada. Who am I? Who are you?
Well, he's evil, so it's
if you've watched us from the beginning, we have a history. Not just my character. I did it once. Other people have done it since, where they're just like, no monologuing. We're just going to kill you.
And there's definitely enemies out there that's going to do the same to you. Trust me, I've learned from that.
So we attempted. Some of us attempted to do a little bit of talking, but it turns out game on.
What happened? He gave his initial speech of "Don't fight me, give me your items. I might treat you nicely." And Barian said no and roll initiative. That was it.
So what made this a very challenging and deadly fight is number one, we're dealing with almost instant death, if not instant death, because we're level 6 characters dealing with magma and lava.
And we've got a young actually had fear presence and a lair action.
And lair actions
and a legendary action.
The lair actions are deadly here, and then this is what pretty much could have taken out Davros again. Now, of course, Davros being a sea elf, he's used to breathing cool waters.
Because he leave the ocean.
So what happened on the first lair action?
No, it was the second lair action.
Oh, the second one?
It was the second one. The first one made everything rumble and everyone fell on their ass. Well, a lot of people did.
Except me.
And you didn't. You got lucky. Didn't you fall on your ass?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. They got a few people on their ass. And then the second lair action was the lower DC but much more deadly scenario of incapacitation due to breathing sulfurous gas. Good times.
His cavern farted.
Sulfur monoxide?
It was a fart joke.
So who went down? We had Davros down. He's down unconscious,
Davros
right?
Was the only one that failed the DC 13 Constitution saving throw, and he fell. Poison. He became poisoned, and while he's poisoned, he is unconscious until he's no longer poisoned.
Which is unconscious, so he can't make his.
So it's not like you can go wake up, slap him.
Nope. It is while he's poisoned.
Because it's not like it's sleeping.
Yeah. Everyone else saw that happen and went, "Oh shit." Yeah. And meanwhile, you're on that bridge.
I'm on a crackling stone, dried lava.
You're
rocks.
You're on a bridge in between two.
They're cracking as I'm walking under my weight.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, "This is stupid," because it was stupid. This was when Eck, for the first time, decided not to be afraid. Because he's been afraid of a lot of things.
Stupid, but not afraid.
So he's been stupid all the time.
Well, I mean, there's a fine line between stupid and bravery.
Yeah.
Well, though, if you really look at this thing with Eck, he's had to worry about the rest of the party and healing up until this point. This is the first time we actually saw him rage and go in to hit stuff. Really, screw everything else. I'm going to kill you, which was refreshing to see the barbarian.
And you were the first to actually butt heads with the dragon, with this young red dragon plus, I'll call it, Grotto thing. You dealt some nasty hits on it actually, because you kept rolling max dice, man.
Max damage.
Yeah, you kept doing that.
Yeah, he was really going for it.
If you're a country music fan, it was very Coward to the County on the second half of the song where he just let loose and
But then he said he'll deal with you later, and went over and gave everyone
and we got to learn about its incredibly powerful breath weapon. Really powerful breath weapon.
And I could use my new ability.
Yes, Shield Master! I forgot you had that. I forgot you had that. 52 points of damage down to nothing using your reaction because you succeeded.
Nope. So this is like that old movie Dragon Slayer, where you
I imagine it almost like Captain America vibes, where you went down on one knee and just went behind your shield completely.
I saw the scene from Dragon Slayer.
I saw the scene from Dragon
Slayer. Where he just takes the dragon shield and just goes, yeah, bring it.
Of course, if you had a normal shield, then we would have been having a problem.
Unfortunately, we don't. I really was looking forward to ask this of our Chris, Derek. But unfortunately, he's ill, and I really hope he's not. I really hope, number one, I'm glad he's not coming to share and give us the Christmas cheer of his illness. But number two, I really hope he gets well and he's not going to be sick too long.
So, Chris, if you're watching this, we miss you.
Yep.
Get better soon and don't miss next time. Otherwise, I get the duct tape.
So I really wanted to ask him this because he did something that I wanted to understand his true motivations, is what his character was thinking when he did this. Because a breath weapon's coming down and Davros is on the ground and everyone else is diving for cover, trying to not take the full brunt of this. And there's Davros laying right in the middle of the path.
Derek did a very, very
heroic.
It's a very heroic thing, and I loved every second of it. He was right next to him. He knew he was not going to succeed because it would have been
automatic failure on a deck save. So Davros is going to take the full whatever damage this is.
52 points of damage, which is over his max hit points. And even though on the rule aspects you technically can't allow this, but it was such a beautiful character moment that I'm like, I'll allow you to use your reaction and make a dexterity saving throw for him. So if he makes it, if you make it, he gets half damage. But if you fail, both of you get the damage because he still has to dive on someone.
Right.
So I gave him a fighting chance of basically flipping it. If he's automatically failing, but he might be able to give a success to the unconscious person that is laying right next to him.
Very, very Hollywood-esque.
Oh, that entire fight was full of Hollywood moments there, right?
But
it was
cinematic as hell.
That moment was, because we all saw it. It was one of the moments where Derek's been kind of flamboyant and kind of
noisy
and not really
not really selfless. He's not
He has
chaotic, but
he did some great fighting. He's done some other thing, but he has done very little to endear himself to the party as a heroic figure in the I care about you. Yeah, well, literally up until now, he's like, I'm just with you as a means to an end. At this point, it was, well, wait a minute, he actually cares about the other players now. And that's the evolution of each character. Ack went through that. Sonny's gone through that. Sparks is still at the I'm just with you because it's convenient point. But each character
that's another conversation.
Eventually comes around to this becomes the family. And I think at that moment, at least Sonny looked over and went, oh, okay, he's on the team now. That's great. And I think that was a big moment for a lot of the people watching, to see that Derek isn't just this loudmouth swashbuckler who's using the party as a means to an end. He actually became a member of the party at that moment. And where everybody else, all the other players who are slowly, Sonny's had a moment like that, Eck has his moments like that. So I thought that was pretty cool to me. So
no, it was, I loved every second of that one. So yeah, he went unconscious, Derek went unconscious, and Davros was still unconscious, but not at 0 hit points. And that would have been bad of him being poisoned and 0 hit points at the same time.
Right.
That would have been something
So incredibly selfless act to just literally throw yourself
on
the unconscious body of a companion and take the blow and essentially go to, well, I'm rolling death saves next round.
Yep.
So
which it all worked out good.
Hazel got him.
Hazel our super healer.
And let's see, we also had some other heroic moments.
Which ones are you referring to? Now, we had the one where Hazel quite literally deflected. Now, technically, she wasn't able to do this. After rereading the rules, I did mess up a tiny bit.
Okay.
But it was a...
cinematic as hell, though.
It was cinematic as hell. I still go by it, and I still love it. Technically, she was not supposed to roll 2d6 of the weapon damage, and plus heat damage. She was supposed to do her monk damage dice, which was a d6, because she's still using her monk weapon. So I messed up there a little bit, and it was still on the edge of not being a thrown object because it's a larger entity, because it's a 6-foot pole.
Well, you can still do it with the spear, though.
Yeah, you can still do it with the spear. So
that's really
I allowed it to happen. I would still allow it to happen because it's a ranged weapon.
But that's the difference. If you're a gamer and you're playing the game, and you're a dungeon master and you're playing the game, it's story over rules every time. There's times where it's just because it's better for the story. So that was just one of those moments where cinematic is. It was
cinematic as hell.
Mili Jovanovic kind of, some slow motion. You're screwed at the end of this.
Yeah, and Ed got like perfect shot of it. Like you don't know where it's coming from, but things are just.
I'm doing this, and there's stuff flying over my shelf.
Lightning bolt.
So thunder.
Oh yeah, so you're thunder in a closed cave.
Yeah.
Then we also had. Let's see. What were some actions that Sonny was doing during that fight?
Well, Sonny took the first legendary resistance when he did his first
slow,
which was like, oh damn, and he thought it was the only third I had, but I had 3 thirds. I used
forgot because you leveled
one with the salamander, one there, and he said, oh, he used his only legendary resistance, and I'm like, because then I let the dog out, and when you let the shadow hound out.
It goes. You release the hound. It's gonna kill.
It attacks whether it hits or not. It still gives disadvantage on. So on the next round, because dragons have all kinds of things they can do, but once you're slowed, it's over.
Yeah,
and
that's the one thing about dragons. They have to stay mobile.
And we slowed it. But the most scary moment of the whole thing was I never thought that the hound, this is Shadow Hound, bit the dragon. There's a rule with the Shadow Hound that if they bite them, they have to make a save.
A strength saving throw.
A strength saving throw, which it was hexed on
strength, so it's a disadvantage. And it was like, okay, but it still has plenty of strength. It's a red dragon, right? So I roll like 2, there's like 2 2s or something like that, something incredibly low. I'm like, oh my god.
And I have I guess I have a particularly animated face. I didn't realize this. And when the dragon actually got knocked down by the Shadow Hound
after grabbing Barry,
it had Sonny's brother, and I was like, oh, I guess the look on my face was, oh god, I just killed my brother. But story wise and saving throw wise and everything, it worked out.
It was actually quite because the map actually saved your butt.
Yeah,
there was the one boulder that's just for traversing and stuff like that. But next thing you know, it's saving Barian because he went bloosh.
Well, what we don't have here is what happens at the very end of the battle. Barian is grappled by the dragon.
Slowed Grunna a young dragon. And now it's slowed, uses his only attack to grab him, and next turn he was just going to dunk him in because he's getting very annoyed right now.
No, because he's getting chopped up.
He's getting chopped up. He's going to use whatever he can to take care of him.
And he gets 1 action, period, per round.
Yeah, I had to do that because I never ran into that before. I had to, that was interesting.
And here's something I don't want to give away. I just want to share. It's like, because you're going to look for this episode next week, particularly for our live watchers. But if you're watching this already on YouTube, then therefore it's already out. But go watch it if you haven't seen it.
They all die.
There's a point in time where a directional die needs to be done because the dragon is going down over lava, and he's grappled with Barian. And depending on where that die lands is whether or not Barian survives.
And I have a directional die. It disappeared after that night.
So, and we roll it on so that the vertical you can see it.
Yes. And it was perfect right towards the stone.
Barian, you have any thoughts on that?
You're going to like my new character.
Yeah, no, you even knew it. It's like, I'm dead. Bye, guys. But you were saying goodbyes and everything.
Yeah, that was... But it all played out well. And it all played out well with the dice. The dice aided the story. And
still proves that Jason is the dice god.
Yeah. On certain things, like Jace will throw and throw and throw really good, and then he goes to attack, and it's like...
fail.
No, it's like the weird things, like out of straight death, or just being lucky on like pulling a lever on a random device that will disarm the nuclear fusion reactor, or whatever I said.
We don't have nuclear fusion reactors.
Yeah.
That's my game.
That's his game.
Nuclear fusion? What? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
So anyway, a truly epic game is part 2, episode 12, and it is called End of Tutorial.
I don't know why you guys called it that, but everyone said it was End of Tutorial.
It was, at least I think it was when each of our characters came into our true own. I mean, yes, there were several that were actually succumbed early in the fight, but it was a true team effort where everyone was stacking their abilities on top of each other. What do you have to say?
Well, no, and Hazel, who isn't here, watch what she's doing during all this. She's coordinating and doing some really impressive stuff. And not to leave anybody out, I mean, Chris's character Derek saves a life. You get to see you do for the very first time act full barbarian.
Take his fear and say it's not here.
The only person that didn't really get something to do, and he wasn't here, rightfully so. So he became the red shirt, or blue shirt in this case, Varus!
Again,
he was the one that set the tone.
And that's kind of his thing. But
throughout this whole story, you've been trying to kill him every single time. You've been trying to kill him.
Excuse me, I breathed fire on you guys from Grelething's point of view for 52 points of damage on pretty much everyone except Barian and Ek.
Well, I just mean in general, throughout the entire campaign, it's always going to kill the blue elf, kill the blue elf, kill the blue elf, kill the blue elf.
Well, this was, but even character-wise and story-wise, this is absolutely would have been the most hostile environment.
Oh yeah.
That a blue sea elf could be in. It doesn't get any more hostile for him unless
you go to the fire planet or something.
Yeah, unless you're on the fire planet. I mean, this is the opposite of his life. It was really fitting. Like every character has had a moment up until now. Every character's had their moment. He's made us cry twice. Ek has come from Ek and Sunny have gone from enemies to friends.
And from Barian and Ek, from friends to enemies.
Yeah. Barian has Ek on the "you're a bad man" list.
That's true. Went from friends to enemies. Because I am a monster and I kill animals.
He killed animals. He hurt the brother. What was the other thing he did, Jace?
Used all the money.
Oh, and used all the money, and Barian didn't
Ek was so proud of that too. He's all hammered. Look what I did.
But the episode was end of tutorial. We could have called if you go in the Wayback Machine, that orc fight could have been the end of tutorial. But at that point, we were all still not firing on all cylinders. So this really is the first moment, the first fight where everybody was their character, and the audience got to know it because they've got to see the characters evolve. So
I mean, we got a long way to go, but it was still a very fun game.
This is the end of the tutorial, not the end of the campaign.
We ended what was it, like 1 o'clock in the morning,
something like that.
Yeah, well,
1 or 2.
So it's about 11 o'clock, 11:30, and he's like, "Let's call it."
Because I know the type of fight this is. This is going to take a while.
Jace and I look at each other and are like, "Oh hell no!
We're not giving him another.
We're not giving him a week to think of ways to screw us."
I do not change the battlefield. Okay? I don't change.
You just change the monsters.
No, I do not. Okay, I leave what I have on the board. I just strategize.
Yeah, we're not going to give him a week to think about how to kill.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be filming tonight. We're going to be filming episode 13. The aftermath of our battle.
And of Barian, of course, being the classic dice god that he is.
And there's
the natural 20 that saved the body from going into the pools of lava.
That's true.
Or at least held it with enough time, with his mighty strength of 14. 14. Yeah.
So we're not out of it yet because
we have to have sparks to get on.
There's still a horde for us to find with a bunch of lava around. So this is not going to be easy.
I don't think the kobolds are going to want anything to do with us after that
because we just killed the big guy.
Yeah. So we'll see. But anyway, just like you, we get to learn. We get to watch this real time, and we hope you really enjoy what you've been seeing so far. Check out all our other episodes. We are getting ready here. We need to set up for Together We Roll.
Yes.
And in 2020, by the way, we'll go and we'll do our stream. We're not going to stream tonight. Our Together We Roll. I know. Sorry for our watchers.
Well, first of all, we need to figure out how to legitimately catch it up, so that when people watch the current episode that we're streaming, they don't skip 2 episodes or 3 episodes.
I'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out.
I got you covered. I got you covered.
It's all going to happen in the new year.
Just bear with us. Season 1 is we're learning.
Mm-hmm.
When we get to season 2, which the next game after this one, because we're going to keep going, you'll see everything already gelled and ready to go. But season 1 is our learning season.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, look for more live streams in 2020. Particularly of Together We Roll. We'll do some more How They Rolled as well. And again, for our watchers who are on YouTube, Happy New Year, because this is coming out on January 2nd.
And Merry Christmas.
For those that are watching live, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all those things, whatever.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Happy Festivus. Merry Kwanzaa,
solstice,
happy winter solstice, and
happy Chinese New Year.
And my favorite holiday, December 6th, happy St. Nicholas Day. Do some research. That's actually why there's a Christmas. Not do it. Check it out.
All right.
Interesting.
Hey, let's go ahead and get ready for Together We Roll, guys.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching. Look for us again. Till next time, keep on rolling.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, say bye-bye, Ginger.
She did say bye.